loves, welcome back. So today I decided that I'm going to do an updated palette collection video. I've gotten rid of some palettes, I've gotten some new palettes, and since I'm just getting back to YouTube and getting back to you guys, I figured it would be a great idea to do a new updated palette collection. So I hope you guys enjoy. Okay, so I'm going to start out with the palettes that I only have like one from each brand type of thing. So the first one is the Manny MUA palette, and it's the collaboration palette with Manny MUA and Makeup Geek. And I just really like this palette. And then this one is by BH Cosmetics. It's called the Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies palette. This was a decent palette overall. I mean, I think this palette was less than $20. So it was a really great palette for the price point and everything. So I don't really have that many single shadows. These are the single shadows I have. There's 3 blue MAC shades here. There's a Makeup Geek blush, 3 Makeup Geek single shadows, a Duca shadow, and then these 3 shadows here were from a BoxyCharm and I just depotted them. And then this is a Wet n Wild pressed glitter that I depotted. And these are the only single shadows I have. And the next one is the SD Edit Glitter and Glow. I don't find that I really use this side very much. They're just very intense shades, dark shades that I don't use very often. I do use the Glow side quite often. This is the highlighting side, and I love this side. I use these quite often. They're really great formula. It's very buttery and they blend really well. I love them and it lasts forever. I have the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette, and I love this palette too. This is the Alchemist palette by Kat Von D. Let me go ahead and open that up. So you have 4 different highlight shades, and they're really great shades. So then the next palette that I have is the Pastel Goth palette, and this palette actually had a lot of controversy around it, but I love this palette. I don't really care what the controversy was, like, oh, it's not pastel, but it is pastel. I don't really care. Here it is right here. I just really love it. It's like a rainbow, and then you have that gray and that white right there too. And then I have the Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye palette. So here it is right here. This is a great palette. I just don't seem to reach for it very often. It's beautiful packaging and everything. I love that it has a mirror and it's like the nice sleek packaging and everything. Next I'm gonna do my Tarte palettes. Got a few of those. So next I'm going to do my Tarte palettes, and so I have the Tartelette Tease palette, and that is just a nice little palette with like 6 shades, and this is great because you can do a full look with this. I enjoy that little bibis. And then this is the Unicorn palette, all shimmers and a highlight, and then there's 1 matte shade right here, and it's a great transition shade. And I get that it's a unicorn palette, so that's kind of why I'm totally cool with it only having 1 matte shade in it. I love this palette. I think I say that about every single one so far, but yeah. Anyways, so then here is the Tartelette in Bloom. I don't have the other Tartelette palette, but I do enjoy this one. So there's 12 shades in here and 9 of them are matte, which is awesome. And it has a great formula, and it's got that vanilla scent that some of Tarte's palettes have, and so does the Unicorn palette. And then I've got the Rainforest of the Sea Volume 2 and Volume 1. So here is Volume 1. Right here. There's Volume 1. It's nice. I love the formula on this as well. It's just like a great consistency, great pigment, and it just blends really well. Here's Volume 2. Great palettes by Tarte. So the next palettes that I am going to be showing today are the Studio Makeup on the Go, and I got these from BoxyCharm. This one is like a neutral shade, and I love this palette. I think I've almost hit pan on this shade right here. It's like the shimmer copper brown tone shade in here, and it's great. And then this is like your Cools palette, and I love this palette as well. But yeah, so those are the 2 Studio on the Go palettes that I have, and I love them. So the next one I'm going to do is Juvia's Place. Let me grab those. I like have this spread out on my bed and am like just filming this on my bed. So the next palettes I'm going to do are the Juvia's Place palettes, and I've got the Nubian palettes by Juvia's blah, 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 I can't talk. I've got the Nubian palette by Juvia's Place. And here it is. I just love how like coppery and warm this palette is. It's great. I love it. It's a great formula, very highly pigmented. And then this is the Masquerade palette. There's, you know, your normal warm tones with your mattes and everything in it, and then you've got all these colors that you can play with. This is actually the Masquerade Mini. I decided to get the Masquerade Mini because it was like half the price, and I was like, you know what? I'm never gonna end up using all of the large one anyways, so might as well get the small one, and I'll probably never end up using all of it anyways. Still has all the same shades in it, it's just like half the size. So yeah, and then I also have the Nubian 2 palette, and I do plan on getting the other 2 palettes from them, but they just keep selling out. I can't seem to get them. But yeah, so then the Nubian 2 palette, my favorite shade in here is this orange, like it's like a burnt orange. And in this one, you get 4 mattes, and then the rest are shimmer, and there's 12 shades. Okay, so the next palettes I'm gonna do are my Too Faced palettes, and some of these I'm not so happy with, but I like to collect the Too Faced palettes. So, I still have them. And I know that's not logical, but I do. This is the Chocolate Bar palette, and I don't feel like I need to talk too much about this. I think every YouTuber in the world talks about this. This is like a very well-known palette, and I think there are going to be some possibly angry people who are like, how could this not be one of your favorite palettes? I'm like, it's just not. And that's it, the Chocolate Bar palette. The next one is the Semi-Sweet Chocolate Bar palette. I love this palette. I love, 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 love this palette. So here is this palette, and I actually removed this shade right here, Pink Sugar, because I hated it. I absolutely hated the consistency of that shade, and it was just making me so annoyed every time I saw it. So I was like, you know what? I don't need that shade. I'm never gonna use it. And I like straight up took a paper clip to it and cleaned it out. I did not want to use it, and I did not want to see it. But other than that, I don't have any complaints about this palette. I love the formula and consistency of every single other shadow. I don't know if I just got a dud with this one, but I just hated it, so I removed it, and I am much happier now that I've removed it. It's just a great palette to have. I love to travel with this palette. Very easy looks. That's the Semi-Sweet Chocolate Bar. This is the Too Faced Bonbons palette. I really enjoy this palette. This palette gets mixed reviews that I see on YouTube and stuff, but I enjoy this palette so much. I've hit Pan and Pecan Praline, and there's a few other shades that I've almost hit Pan on. I love this palette. The next palette that I'm going to show you is the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. I really like this palette. I was so excited to get my hands on it. I feel like the hype was... it was worth the hype. It's a great palette. I love to do peach looks with it when I feel like having a really pinky orange eye. I've put that on my Instagram pretty often. I really enjoy doing peach looks. I don't know, I'm gonna start with my least favorite, which is the a la mode. I don't know, I feel like I have a love-hate relationship with this one. I really like this Monaco shade, and I really like these base shades, but I don't really like the other 5 shades very much. They don't work out well on my skin tone. They don't. The next one, the Honey palette. I feel like honestly this palette had so much potential, but it just didn't work out very well. It doesn't really show up well on my skin tone, and it's really powdery and kind of chalky and stuff. I haven't really enjoyed it all that much, but at the moment I'm still trying to work with it, and I feel like I'm trying to love it is what's happening. But yeah, the next ones I'm gonna show you are the Natural Matte and Natural Eyes palettes. Love these palettes, these great palettes. This one is completely matte, all matte shades. Love, love, love matte shades. And then this one, the top row is the same as the Natural Matte, and then this is a darker base shade or transition shade, depends on how you want to use it. And then these 3 are shimmery shades, and these 2 are like the matte with the glitter in it type of shades. But yeah, I just really like these palettes as well. And then here is the Peanut Butter and Jelly palette. Really love this palette. I love everything about it, honestly. I love all of these shades. They work out really great for me. And then here's the Totally Cute palette. I don't use this that often because of the shade range. They're more loud, so I use this when I feel like having a pop of color type of thing. But I do enjoy this palette as well. These two shades are my favorite. They're the browns. No wonder they're my favorite. Okay, so the next palette I am going to show you guys is the Too Faced Sugar Pop palette. This is a wonderful palette. I love it. It's a very colorful palette, but I use it quite often. I just gravitate to it often. I have almost hit pan on this orange shade, the pink shade, the blue shade, and this really dark shade called Blackberry. Most of the time I'll do an all over eyelid look with this, or this, or this, and then put Blackberry on the outer corner. Love this palette. And next palette. This is a face palette, but I keep it with my eyeshadow palette, so I'm going to go ahead and just talk about it. So this is the Sweet Peach Glow palette. There's a bronzer, a blush, and a highlighter. I love this. A lot of people, there's mixed reviews. A lot of people said that it wasn't showing up on their skin tone. I'm a light to medium skin tone, and it showed up just fine on my skin tone. I really enjoy it. And I also have the Cocoa Contour, and I really enjoy this as well. Okay, so Urban Decay is the last brand I'm going to be doing my palettes for, and I have the Gwen Stefani collaboration palette, and I didn't feel like this was too much of a wow palette, but I really love Gwen Stefani and Urban Decay, so I went ahead and got it, and I do like it. I just feel like it's a great everyday palette. And then I have this one. This is like one of my fun palettes. It's a specialty palette. It is the Electric palette with all these bright shades in it, and I've used it a handful of times, you know, when I want that bright color. My favorite shade in it is this Gonzo shade. And yeah, good packaging. As with most Urban Decay stuff. Love Urban Decay so much. So the next palette I'm going to do is the Alice in Wonderland collection palette, and here it is right here. These are the shades. I really enjoy them. So the last ones I decided to do are the Basquiat collection by Urban Decay. I have both of the eyeshadow palettes and the face palette. So this is the face palette, and this is the face palette. There's two blushes, a bronzer, and a highlighter. Great. I love these. I think this is my favorite collection that any makeup brand has ever come out with. Like, I just love it. Everything about it. So this one is the other eyeshadow palette, and this is more of like the warm tone neutrals, and then there's some little pops of colors, because this is like a dark blue, and then there's like a goldish yellow, and then there's like a goldish brown. Really great formula. And then we've got the colorful palette, and it's just beautiful. I love it. I couldn't ask for more. I just love these palettes. Like, seriously, favorite collection. Absolutely favorite. Alright guys, that's all I've got for you today. Thanks so much for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys all next time. Love you. Bye.